Mike Schreiner is leader of the Green Party of Ontario, also the MPP for Guelph. And, Mike, how do we save some money outside of sitting around in the dark and the cold, which seems like fun?
Yeah, Brian, we certainly don't want to be sitting in the dark or out in the cold. So the Ontario Greens are putting forward some solutions to help with rising energy prices. And when it comes to cars, let's make electric vehicles affordable for people. I mean, for me to plug my car in overnight at home costs a couple bucks or so to fill it up with electricity, about 10 to 12 bucks at a high-speed charger. Compared to what people are paying at the pumps, it just makes sense to go electric. And when it comes to our utility bills, let's actually provide financial supports to people and businesses to help them retrofit their buildings to make them more energy efficient, so we can help people save money by saving energy. And by the way, create hundreds of thousands of good jobs retrofitting our buildings.
But we got to spend money to save money. I guess we understand that, Mike. But it's tough for most people with the way prices have gone up over the last couple of years.
Oh, it's really tough, Brian. And if you look at what most experts are predicting, energy costs are only going to continue to rise. And so that's why, putting Band-Aids on it isn't going to solve the problem for people. I mean, Ontario Greens have been calling for ways to make life more affordable for people by switching to cheaper energy sources. And, now's the time to do it. And by the way, it also helps us address the climate crisis, which is related to all this as well. But you know what? It costs much less to take public transit, drive an electric vehicle. Let's make homes more energy efficient to save people money on their utility bills. Those are the solutions that can help people save money today, tomorrow, and well into the future.
And Mike, you mentioned transit, and that's interesting because I've been doing a little research on how I could possibly get to a spot in Scarborough in the next little while.
Yes.
No, that's actually true. I have to figure this out.
Yep.
There is no convenient way to take transit. It is a 2.5-hour journey. And you know what? I don't have enough time on this planet to deal with that anymore. And it's at least 10 years before any of that changes.
Yeah, I hear you on that one, Brian. And by the way, congratulations on your new gig. I wish you well. I've certainly enjoyed being with you on the radio, and hope the next chapter is as successful as this one has been for you. And, one of the ways we can quickly ramp up transit, which is something I was just in Cambridge the other day talking about, is let's get more electric buses on the road immediately. That's a quick way that we can increase transit rapidly. Probably not going to help you in Scarborough, so I would recommend my electric car for you for that one. But I'm thinking of people who live in the region in particular. So getting from Guelph to KW or Guelph to Cambridge or Cambridge down to Brantford or vice versa. Let's build a regional transit network. The fastest way to roll that out is using buses, and let's make it affordable, accessible, and convenient for people.
Now you've given me an idea. We can carpool, right? That'd be good for the environment, right?
That's true.
It's not the worst idea in the world.
Figure out a way. I could get you as far as Queen's Park.
Well, you're going right by where I need to go. So.
Oh, perfect.
But I hear this now and then, Mike, when we talk about electric vehicles, etc. All of those things, and isn't it true that the more we put electrical vehicles on, the more we're going to put stress on our electric system? Isn't that going to cause its own problems? Because hey, supply and demand going to jack electricity prices up, right?
No, it actually can help us. One of the problems we have in Ontario right now is we're selling a lot of our excess electricity capacity to other jurisdictions at a loss. We'd be much better off using that electricity right here in Ontario, and particularly overnight. We have way more capacity, more electricity capacity at night than we need, and we could be using that to fill people's cars up with electricity overnight, and then they drive it during the day and plug in at night. And if we even get really smart, we can have what's called bidirectional charging, which you're seeing in a number of other jurisdictions, where while your car sits at work, and particularly in the summer months when electricity demand is driven by air conditioners, you could actually put electricity back into the grid from your car, turning your car into a little mini power plant, making a little extra money for yourselves and helping Ontarians save money, because then we don't have to build high-cost peaking electricity plants to deal with those small, high-demand moments, particularly in the afternoons and early evenings when people turn on their air conditioners.
I guess like any other thing, when we go through these energy bumps, Mike, Dad's advice still maintains: turn off the light if you're not in the room.
Yep.
Turn down the heat a little bit. Try to do everything all at once, right? Like don't be spreading out the electricity all day long.
Yeah, you know what, Brian? And I've turned into one of those dads.
We all do.
I remember my dad telling me that as a kid, and I've turned into one of those dads. I'll have to admit it.
I'm not heating the outside. Right? We all say it at some point.
Exactly.
Mike, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, take care, Brian. You do. I wish you all the best.